Sorry. Alright. So here we are. The scary thing about being up on the stage is I have the school behind me, which I was kind of imagining it was right there. And the real world in front of me. Hey. Hi, real world. I can see my family. Hi. So, I don't know, what should I say? I went to comic book school, and now I have to somehow defend that. No, you guys are cool with it, or you wouldn't be here, so thank you for coming. And as far as the real world goes, you guys are great. You're a much nicer version of it than most. So coming to this school was a risk. It was, I don't know, a great unknown. We all had to sacrifice to come here, and for many of us, there were personal costs, and not to mention financial. And so what was the reason? To learn how to make comic books better. So questions come up. First of all, can you teach creativity? And secondly, are comic books worth it? Funny books, the goof 'em ups, this weird little medium for rejects. So what have I learned here? I learned that you can call us artists if you want to, or writers, or even graphic novelists, but what we are is cartoonists. It's a simpler word, and it's without the pretense of importance like artists. And it means we can do more. We don't limit ourselves to the power of one image, and we don't describe everything with words. We tell full stories with pictures. So, yes, it's worth it. But why is it worth it? What's so important about it all that I have to get up here and tell you all about it? Well, to get to that, I think you have to know a little bit about me. But my dad's a college professor whose big focus is to get more people into college, the importance of college. And then here's me. I always liked school, but I was a bad student. I was honestly worse than just bad. Even classes I thought were good, I couldn't pay enough attention or force myself to do the homework. I was always doodling in class, getting caught drawing rude pictures of the teacher. And this is college I'm talking about. So by some strange circumstances, there I was 2 years ago. I was a college dropout, but I had an okay life. I had plenty of friends, etc. I was doing other creative things, helping with movie making and performing stuff, but I wasn't really making comics. I was trying to, but I really wasn't doing a good job of it, and I didn't really know how. And then a friend of mine found the school's website, and now here, all of a sudden, I'm on stage, and I'm a good student. Okay, so this is the difficult part. This is the difficult part because I know the school isn't perfect and it's new, and I don't want to be too self-congratulatory or nepotistic, but everything about the school is awesome. I know that sounds lame, but seriously, I mean, James Stern, Jason Luke, Steve Bissett, I actually read all of them in classes at college. They were among the few required reading I actually did. Not to mention all the visiting artists and teachers, Sarah Sue Taylor and Peter Money, and Michelle Ollie. I'm a serial procrastinator, and this speech would be improvised if it wasn't for her keeping me to deadline. But all the faculty in the world, and this is where I really get into the cronyism, wouldn't mean much if it wasn't a good crew of students. There are only 14 of us left in this class, and you're not likely to find a group like us anywhere, much less one that functions well. At times it's like a high school dynamic, but it's all just the freaks and the geeks, with none of the jocks, jerks, cool kids, normals, or even the regular smart kids, no offense. But at times it's better than high school, it's more like family. And when I talk about what a tight crew we are, I'm not just talking about my buddies up on the stage right now about to graduate. I'm talking about most of the school and the surrounding community. I'm talking about all the little things we do, like walking to the convenience store 5 minutes before they close. I'm talking about playing Foursquare with big groups of classmates, alumni, and other friends. I'm talking about playing poker every Thursday with cool people. I'm talking about playing Foursquare. Did I say Foursquare already? And 5 Square. At group garden parties. I'm talking about running into people on the streets. I'm talking about playing D&D. I'm talking about parties. And I'm talking about movie nights. I'm talking about haircutting parties. But back to talk about the graduating class in particular. We're more than just friends, because that would be fun, but not much of an education. We're also colleagues, peers, inspiration, and competition. Keeping up with my classmates as they get better and better has been a constant challenge. When I look at these people draw, some so seemingly effortlessly, others like every line is a struggle to force something out of the head and into the world, I feel inspired and jealous. It does something to my brain. I always hear that comics are solitary work, and it definitely is in the end. But without my class, I wouldn't be making the comics I am. And hopefully that mixed-up feeling will stay with me past graduation. Hopefully I'll stay friends with them. But my biggest hope is that we all keep drawing. Because, again, not to get too self-congratulatory, but each and every one of us is awesome. And the worst thing that would happen is if any of us quit. So this brings me to my last topic, which is the future. Over winter break, my uncle asked me what I wanted to do for a living when I got out of school. I answered him with what I thought was a reasonable but hopeful pile of crap. What I thought I could actually be doing. And he stopped me and he said, "No, what do you really want to do? Whatever that is, whether it's reasonable or not, write it down on paper and reread it out loud every day." I want to make comics. Who can tell what the future of comics is? Comics on the internet, graphic novels in bookstores, selling them on the street corner like drugs. However we sell them, it won't be easy. It's hard to sell a pamphlet comic. Bookstores are overhyped. The internet is weird and mysterious, to me anyway. Making a living seems almost impossible, and a lot harder than you in the real world probably know. We're not going to be selling our original art for thousands of dollars like it's some fancy art. And these are tough times, and it looks like they're only going to get tougher. But however, I think if anyone can eke out a living in comics, it's going to be us. Eventually. Because the people with me right now are working so hard and making such good stuff that there just has to be a way to survive. Not just making any comics, but our own comics, exactly the way we want to be making them. Whether they're personal stories about relationships, or personal stories about religious beliefs, or personal stories about the state of the world, or sci-fi epics about the state of the world, or strange, idiosyncratic, improvised stories, or long cartoony sagas about the birth of the world, or noir small-town mysteries, or maladjusted character tales set in strange cities, or children's fantasy stories, or superhero parodies, or monster stories, or styles and stories that haven't even been defined yet in the 2 sentences I can give them. So it's time for me to get off the podium, and I need to conclude strong. I feel like I've had a few good sentences here and there, but I never really got into what drives us to be a cartoonist in the first place. And I don't really know. It's in the heart. One of my favorite stories about me as a kid speaks to that. I was maybe 4, sitting at the kitchen table working on my art, and I turned to my mom and said in all earnestness, "I live to draw." So, combine that with an obsessive storytelling gene, and there you go. It's not much of an origin story, but maybe I don't need one, because it's not a choice. Nobody in their right mind would choose to try and make comics for a living. We do it because we have to. We're in love with the medium. It's inside us, where our blood should be. And I want to thank the Center for Cartoon Studies for teaching me how to get it out of my blood and onto paper. And I'll be selling my comic, Monsters and Girls, after graduation, if anyone's interested.